Next topic is potentiometer. Alright. Now, what is potentiometer? That you have to understand first. Potentiometer is a very simple one. There is a wooden platform or wooden plank like this. On this wooden plank, there are two binding screws A and B. In between these two binding screws, there is a 10 meter long wire and long meter string is there, and the 10 meter long string, it is accommodated like this. Alright. Now here I have drawn it by free hand. Actually the gap between all this one are same. Each one is 1 meter long. Alright, and there are 10 strings here and they are interconnected as you are seeing here. So this is nothing but potentiometer, and this on wooden scale also. I am drawing it below, but actually the scale is fitted on the wooden frame only. There is another scale and whose 0 is coinciding with the point A and B, and this other end it is connected with 100 centimeter. Alright. So actually what is a potentiometer? It is nothing but a 10 meter long string. So what is a potentiometer? Potentiometer is nothing but a 10 meter long string as shown in the diagram. Now you see, practically it is very difficult to draw a this potentiometer. This way means 10 strings you have to draw. So that's why what we do generally, we draw the potentiometer like this. Alright? Means in between these 2 points there is a 10 meter long string. Alright? Now, what is the working principle of potentiometer? Working principle of potentiometer is, here I am writing, when constant current is I, passes through the potentiometer, then potential difference across any length is directly proportional to the length of the string. Means if you consider potential difference across any length, it is directly proportional to the length of the string. Okay. If you increase the length, then what will happen? The potential difference across that length will increase. So how we can show this? For the potentiometer, remember that always we need a circuit which is able to send constant current. So this part of the circuit now I will draw, that is means what I can say, same for every potentiometer circuit. So you see, if you want to send constant current, then you need a battery. So we have taken a battery. But remember that positive terminal of the battery should be connected to A. Then we need to control the current to keep it constant. So we need a rheostat, a variable resistance. Then we need a key to switch it on or off. Then we need an ammeter to measure the current, and then you connect it to B. So this part of the circuit is common for every potentiometer circuit. And what is the purpose of this circuit? To send constant current through this point. Is that clear? Now let us consider that we have connected the jockey at this point. Alright. Now you see what will be the potential across AJ, across the length AJ. It will be resistance of AJ multiplied by the constant current this battery is sending through it. Because I said this part is the circuit which is sending constant current through it. Here the A stands for ammeter. A stands for ammeter. Okay, because ammeter is measuring and showing you that you are getting the constant current. Sometimes we just assume that it is sending constant current, and then in that case you may not connect the ammeter with this. Means you need a battery, a rheostat and a key with that, or variable resistance. Okay. Now you see here Raj, you can write it as rho into length of AJ. If I consider this length is L divided by cross sectional area into I. Can you write? What is the resistance? Specific resistance into length by cross sectional area into I. Now here just you see, when you are taking the jockey at different places, then L will change. Okay, but what about A, cross sectional area? A is constant, because we are not making the potentiometer string thin or thick. This is the same string only, continuously it is connected between A and B. So here we are not connecting, we are not considering that cross sectional area we are changing. Okay, now so A is constant. Now rho is the specific resistance. Specific resistance depends on what? Material of the string. So that also we are not changing. So what you can consider? Rho is constant. And already we have said that we are sending constant current. So I is constant. Is that clear? So look at this one. V is equal to some constant into I. So what you can write? V is equal to some constant into L. Alright, so one can say that V is proportional to L. Is that clear? Means potential difference across any length of the potentiometer is directly proportional to its length. Okay, so this is the working principle of potentiometer, that V proportional to L for constant I. This is important. I should be constant. You have to send constant current through the potentiometer. Then only V will be proportional to L. Is that clear? So you see, for a potentiometer, if you find out V by L, it is constant. Now this V by L, it is known as potential gradient. V by L is, what is the name of V by L? V by L is potential gradient. So you see, what you can say, potential gradient of a potentiometer is always constant. Alright, so working principle of potentiometer, one can say either V proportional to L for constant I, or you can say for constant I, potential gradient across the potentiometer is always constant. Now the two topics I am discussing, these two are very important for your board exam. So that's why just try to understand it. Means first is, we can use a potentiometer to compare EMF of two cells. Means we are having two cells. Let us consider EMF of the first cell is E1, EMF of the second cell is E2. Now by using a potentiometer circuit, you can compare the EMF of two cells. Alright, now what is the circuit diagram for it? First of all, you just draw the potentiometer, and I request never try to mug up the circuit. Okay, understand and make the circuit. You will not do mistake. But if you try to mug up the circuit and try to mug up the diagram and draw, definitely you will do wrong. Okay, so here first I will use the potentiometer, then I need a constant current circuit. So as I said, you connect a battery or variable resistance along with a key. Alright, so suppose you have connected a key. Then what is the next part? The point A, it is connected to positive terminal of the battery, which is sending the current through the potentiometer. I repeat, that this is the positive terminal of the battery should be connected to A. Then what is the next part? You connect the positive terminal of both the cell whose EMF you want to compare with A. Alright, so this is the first point you have to remember, that any number of electric cell when you are joining in a potentiometer circuit, positive terminal of all the cells should be connected to the same point. I repeat, positive terminal of all the cell in the potentiometer circuit present should be connected to the same point. Alright? Now, after that what you will do, the negative terminal, then you connect it to a two-way key. Alright, I hope you can remember. The two-way key are like this. There is a common terminal here and there is two terminal at the end. So, the common terminal at the two end of a two-way key, you connect the negative terminal of the cells you want to compare, and then the common terminal you connect it to one end of the galvanometer. Alright, then other end of the galvanometer, it is at the crossing mark, connect it to a jockey. The jockey can slide over the potentiometer. Is that clear? Here you see, the moment I will cross any conducting string, then this is the symbol you must use. I have crossed it. I have not touched, crossed, jumped. Okay. So this is the circuit diagram of the experiment by which you can compare EMF of two cells. So this is E1 and this is E2. Sorry, this is E2. Now let us name the gap as 1 and 2. Because in the two-way key there are two gaps, 1 and 2. So name it. Now steps you listen. Okay. What is the first step? You first insert the plug in position A. Don't insert plug in 2. Let it be open. What I said? Insert plug at the point A, at the point 1, and then slide the jockey across the potentiometer string until and unless you get the null point. Alright, null point means galvanometer will not deflect. Is that clear? So what is the method? I said I am not writing here. Then I have to rub it again, which is not possible. So I am saying verbally, please note it down. What is the first step? After making the circuit, okay, plug is inserted at the gap 1 and gap 2 is kept open. Then jockey is slided over the potentiometer string until the null point is reached. Is that clear? Now let us consider for AJ equal to L1, null point obtained. Okay, for E1, for the cell having EMF E1. Is that clear? So you see, why null point you have obtained here? Because the EMF of the cell and the potential drop across AJ, and EMF of the cell, that they are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Alright, then only null point will be obtained. So you see why at the beginning I said at least 3 to 4 times that whatever cell you are connecting in a potentiometer circuit, positive terminals of all the cells should be connected at the point A. Why? Because if the positive terminals are connected, then only the EMF and the potential drop across the potential, they will oppose each other. And if opposition is there, then only galvanometer will show no deflection when the EMF and the potential difference will become equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Is that clear? And it is possible only when positive terminals are connected. Then what will happen? EMF of this cell, they are opposing each other. Just try to understand it. EMF of this cell is in this direction, alright? Whereas EMF of this cell is in this direction. Is that clear? So until and unless EMFs are opposite, they will not cancel. So it is not possible to get a null point in the galvanometer. Alright, so be careful while drawing the circuit. Is that clear? So you see, if E1 equal to VAJ, after writing this, you must write. After writing the method, first step as I said, one can write VAJ, it will be K into L1. Let us consider AJ equal to L1. I am not writing any here on the diagram. Okay? So this is the first step. Then second step. Second step, remove the plug from the gap 1, insert plug in gap 2. What I said? Remove plug from gap 1, insert the plug in gap 2, and then you repeat the same experiment, means slide the jockey over the potentiometer until and unless you get a null point. So let us consider for AJ equal to L2 in the second case. AJ equal to L2, null point is obtained for the cell E2. So what you can write? E2 will be equal to VAJ, means E2 will be equal to K into L2, because V is proportional to length. So V will be some constant into length. So you can write E2 is K into L2. This is equation 2. Now if you divide equation 2 by 1, what are you getting? 1 by 2. 2 by 1 also you can do. E1 by E2 will be L1 by L2. K will be cancelled. So here you see L1 and L2 experimentally you have determined. So after putting the values here, you can calculate, you can get the ratio of E1 and E2. And comparison means what? How we compare? To compare two quantities by taking their ratio. So we have got our result. E1 by E2 is equal to L1 by L2. And this experiment, as I said, frequently asked question, frequently asked topic. Please do learn the diagram as well as the way I said to write it. Exactly follow that. Clear? So this is the first experiment using a potentiometer to compare the EMF of two cells. Now next experiment is to determine the internal resistance of a cell. Alright. Now by using a potentiometer. So again, what will be the circuit diagram? That you draw the potentiometer. This is the potentiometer AB. Then again the constant current circuit, means a battery, a rheostat and a key connected between A and B. Now suppose you want to find out the EMF of the internal resistance of this cell, whose EMF is E. Then with the cell you connect one resistance box. Now here there is a key and here these two are connected together. Then this is the positive terminal connected here. So you connect to it to A. So you see positive terminal connected to the same point. Then from this common terminal you connect it to the galvanometer. Then it is connected to the jockey. Alright. So this is the circuit diagram. Rest of the part is same, only in place of the second cell. In the last circuit I am telling, you connect one resistance box along with a key. So let us consider this key be K and let us consider this is K dash. There are two keys, so I am naming it K and K dash. Is that clear? Now, what is the first step? Let the key be open. Do not close it. Do not close key K. Alright. K is kept open and then the jockey is slided over the potentiometer until and unless null point is obtained. And let us consider for AJ equal to L1 null point obtained. Alright, with K open. K is open. Is that clear? So you see, when K is open, it means EMF of the cell is included within the circuit. So just like the previous one, you can write E is equal to potential difference across AJ equal to K into L1. This is the first. Next you close K. K is closed. Key is closed. Alright. Now again you slide the jockey over the potentiometer and find out the null point. And let us consider for AJ equal to L2 null point is obtained. Now in this case what is happening? And in this case also one thing I forgot to say. Take out one resistance from the resistance box. R is taken out from the resistance box. Is that clear? So you see what will happen. Now this cell, it will send the current through this one also. So now across these 2 points, you cannot say EMF is working. We have to consider the terminal potential difference across the point T. Alright. So what you can write? Terminal potential difference across the terminals of the cell E now will be equal to VAJ. Potential drop across AJ. So what is the potential drop across AJ? K into L2. So this is the second relation. So you see, if you divide equation 1 by 2, what are you getting? EMF of the cell divided by V is what? Terminal PD of the cell. So I hope you can remember the relation of terminal PD of the cell is coming KL1 by KL2 equal to L1 by L2. Now, we have derived this relation in the earlier discussion that internal resistance of a cell is given by external resistance into E by V minus 1. What is this external resistance? Resistance taken out from the resistance box. Is that clear? So you see, you can write it as R into L2 by E by V is L1 by L2, sorry, L1 by L2 minus 1. So L1 and L2 you have measured from the experiment, R also you have measured from the experiment. So put it here so you can calculate what is the value of the internal resistance. So this is the way by using a potentiometer one can find out what is the internal resistance of the cell. This is also a very important topic, frequently asked topic. So kindly learn the circuit diagram and the way how to write in the exam. This is the way you must write in the exam. Okay. Now here you see, I said that EMF of the cell you are measuring by using a potentiometer. Now you could have asked me, Miss, why we can take a voltmeter and we can connect it across the terminal of the cell. Then directly you can take the reading and you can find out what is the EMF of the cell. Yes or not? That could have been done, but we have not done this. To find the EMF of the cell, we have used the potentiometer. Why? Because potentiometer is more sensitive, more superior than voltmeter. Alright, here I am just explaining it, I am not writing it in sentence, then the full board I have to write. You please understand it and then from the book only, if you want, you can write down the points, okay. So first point is what you try to understand it. Why potentiometer is considered superior than the voltmeter. I hope you can, this one I have not taught, no, in 10th standard I taught you that if you consider an ideal voltmeter should have infinite resistance. Alright, now here you see, if you consider potentiometer, when we are taking the reading, the length of the potentiometer, then what is the condition? Galvanometer is giving you no deflection. Is that clear? Means no current the cell is passing, sending through to the circuit. So the cell is in open circuit. And I hope you can remember when, under which condition E becomes equal to V. When the cell is in open circuit, when the current passing through the circuit is 0. Okay, last lecture only it was there that under which condition E becomes equal to V. Okay, their first condition was current will be 0. So in this case of potentiometer, you will see that potentiometer we measure EMF by sending under the condition when no current is passing through the galvanometer, means no current is passing through the circuit. Alright, what does it mean? No current passing through the circuit means the cell is in open circuit and then EMF is exactly equal to the terminal PT. Is that clear? But if you use a voltmeter, then what will happen? If the voltmeter is not having infinite resistance, alright? Voltmeter is having a very large resistance but not infinite resistance. Then what will happen? Maybe a small current, but a small current will pass through the voltmeter. In that case, the EMF, the value will be measured from the potential voltmeter reading. That will not be accurate, 100% accurate. But in case of potentiometer, as the potentiometer is not sending any current in the potentiometer, no current is passing through the circuit. So we can consider cell is in open circuit, and potentiometer you can consider as an ideal voltmeter with infinite resistance. I have used the term ideal voltmeter. Alright. So ideal thing not available anywhere. Voltmeter resistance we can make very large, but we cannot make it exactly infinity. So that's the way potentiometer is better. Then second point, when you are taking the reading of the voltmeter, then you see you may get a wrong reading of the voltmeter due to some defect in the scale or due to taking the reading in a wrong way. Alright, but in case of potentiometer, when you are using galvanometer, then galvanometer is not giving you any deflection, means pointer is at 0. Alright, so the reading is more accurate in comparison to the reading taken from voltmeter. So these are the 2 points which prove that potentiometer is superior than voltmeter. Alright, so we have come to an end of this chapter. Please do learn whatever topic I said important for your board exam, especially Kirchhoff's first law, second law, and what are the conservation laws they imply, and then these 2 topics, the determination, comparison of EMF of 2 cell circuit diagram along with the steps, mathematical formulae used, and then the last one to determine the internal resistance of a cell, and that one also the Wheatstone bridge principle. Thank you girls.